डेमोन्स्ट्रेशंस को संबोधित कर रहे हैं।
We will not attack anybody. We can assure all. But if anybody try to attack us, we will give them a fitting reply which they cannot forget in their lifetime. Let me underline, we are not warmongers. We are peace-loving citizens. We know that peace is the prerequisite for progress. If there is tension, you cannot have attention. We are aware of it. But if somebody want to create tension, and one of our neighbor is aiding, abetting, funding, training terrorists continuously, without realizing the damage they are doing to the humanity, and also the damage they are going to inflict on themselves in the coming future, they should understand that. And we don't want to interfere in anybody's internal affairs. But we don't want others also not to interfere in our internal affairs. They were talking about Kashmir, this to discuss. What is there to discuss in Kashmir? Kashmir is an integral part of India. From 1952 onwards, 54 onwards, elections are held. Chief ministers are elected. There is an elected government at the state. Members of parliament are being elected. And what is there not to discuss? Yes, there is something remains to be discussed. I do agree. The remaining thing to discuss is about with our neighbor is hand over the remaining part of Kashmir to us. That is okay. My dear scientists, Kashmir is an integral part of India. And now what we have done is only an administrative arrangement. We have not done anything else. And that's well within our country's right. We are a sovereign country. We'll make adjustments. There will be some division sometimes. Andhra has been divided earlier. Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Uttarakhand. All these things, they are all administrative changes. Similarly, that temporary thing, is called as temporary in the constitution, is now temporary 72 years, that has been removed by parliament. And parliament also with 2/3 majority in Rajya Sabha, which I am presiding. I was only presiding, but the members were deciding. And 4/5 of the Lok Sabha, 4/5 of the Lok Sabha, 2/3 of Rajya Sabha has approved it. Now it's a foregone conclusion. So the unnecessary things should not be said or done by anybody, and we will not tolerate anybody's interference in our internal affairs. We are capable of sorting out issues, we will do it. That's our Prime Minister also has made it very clear. As far as the country's unity, integrity, safety, security is concerned, the entire country must speak in one voice. We should not give scope for the noise that is being made from other side by adding some voice which is not in the interest of the country. This has to be understood by one and all. Coming back to the main function, my dear friends, I am delighted to be here with all of you today. This Golden Jubilee celebration of Naval Science and Technology Laboratory, a prestigious institution of the Defence Research and Development Organization. This indeed is a moment to cherish and rejoice for the entire NSTL fraternity. Completion of 5 decades marks an important milestone in the journey of any organization. My heartiest congratulations to the NSTL employees and their families on this momentous occasion. God bless you all. As you recollect your success and achievements over the past 5 decades, you must also reflect and introspect over the shortcomings, if any, and chalk out plans that will effectively meet the future challenges. The success of any institution lies in the success of its working force. I am sure that under the aegis of the Defence Research and Development Organization, the scientists, officers, staff of NSTL have had great success both on personal as well as professional fronts. Before I entered this auditorium, I witnessed the excellent work carried out by you in the design and development of various weapons and associated systems. It was heartening to note that a number of systems developed by the lab have been handed over to the user, Indian Navy. The success story of Varuna Astra heavyweight torpedo is commendable, and I congratulate the team NSTL for this excellent effort. And also I would like to congratulate and compliment the BDL for making this successful this thing. The ultimate aim of research and science, according to me, is to make the life of the people comfortable. That is the ultimate aim. So even this, the weaponry development of the weaponry is also to provide you the country peace, security. The torpedo is to secure the country, not to attack any country, because we have no history of attacking anybody. I am also glad to note that the world-class facilities have been set up by this laboratory for hydrodynamic evaluation of the marine platforms, which will help nation to achieve self-reliance in marine platform design. With your contribution to R&D in core areas related to torpedoes, underwater mines, decoys and stealth, I am sure that NSTL will leave its mark in research on emerging and futuristic technologies. My dear sisters and brothers, a nation's strength lies in the strength of its academic, economic, scientific and technological prowess. All of us need to put our best efforts to make our nation strong and self-reliant. The science and technology landscape has been going through great changes with rapid developments in electronics, computer science and information technology. Never in the past has mankind been empowered in such a powerful manner, and never in the past have technologies evolved at such a rapid pace. Therefore, the scientists working in crucial sectors must not only keep abreast of the evolving technology, but also must plan to meet the futuristic requirement. The technologies involving robotics and artificial intelligence, stem cell research, renewable energy generation and storage, augmented reality, space travel, space tourism and space mining, nanotechnology, antimatter, to name a few, are beginning to play a greater role in our lives. Now we are seeing a new burge of words. I was a student, I was telling in student days, we never heard these words. Now innovation, incubation, startup, stand-up. I remember we got the taste of stand-up. When we went late to school, the master used to say stand up on the bench. Now the stand-up is stand up on your legs and make the country to stand up on its legs. That is the change that is happening. The new Prime Minister's call, he gave a 3-line mantra. It's very important. He said 3-line mantra, if you don't believe in mantra, advice is reform, perform and transform. Transformation of the nation. Transformation of the nation. That is what is important. Making the life of the people safe, secure, comfort, present and happy. What is required is not mere wealth, also health. What is required is happiness also. By creation of wealth alone, you cannot be happy. If you want to be really happy, you need peace. You need everybody smile on everybody's face. If somebody is suffering, you cannot enjoy it. And if you are also suffering with diabetic, you can't enjoy Kesava Reddy's sweets or Hyderabad Pullareddy sweets. Or you can't enjoy Rajula biryani, Kamath biryani also. Your health has to be good. Healthy nation can become a wealthy nation. But a wealthy nation, there is no guarantee to become a healthy nation. That is also equally important. With all this also, you need the strength of the science and technology to secure yourself and to make the life of the common man comfortable. Because changes are happening faster. The world is open. We are living in an era of LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. If you use it properly, you can run a motor, you can run an auto, you can have cylinder, gas and all. If you mishandle, you know what will happen if you mishandle LPG. So we have to be careful. So these scientists have got a greater responsibility. I'm happy that the scientists of the country, they are rising to the occasion. They are doing their best in their respective fields. The example is now, the other example is we are talking of Chandrayana. 104 satellites used at one stroke. Nowhere anybody could do it in the world. It's only our Indian scientists, you people, who are making it real and then making India proud. This is what is required to be done. Speaking of defense technology, the nation is focusing hard on the development of advanced systems for our armed forces. Lot of innovative research is being carried and across the country for indigenous of technologization. The outstanding achievements of our nation in missile and space technologies reflect our inherent S&T strengths. The recent success of DRDO's ASAT mission has made the entire nation proud. I would like to compliment Sri Satish Reddy and his team and also the former Director Generals for really doing such a wonderful job. The success of geo-synchronous launch vehicles, Agni series of missiles, nuclear submarines, INS Arihant, fighter aircraft and the Chandrayaan and the Mangalyaan mission have propelled us into a elite club of nations possessing niche technologies. Since 1958, defense R&D has grown to be capable of delivering strategic missile systems, electronic warfare, electronics and complex platforms such as the light combat aircraft. I am happy to note that India today is one of the 5 nations which ICBM capability, one of the 4 countries to have multi-level strategic deterrence capability, one of the 5 countries to have its own BMD program and underwater missile launch capability, one of the 7 countries to have developed its own main battle tank and an indigenous 4th generation combat aircraft, one of the 6 countries to have developed a nuclear powered submarine, and one of the few countries to have its own electronic warfare and multi-range radar program. Defense and R&D led to the development of bulletproof jackets, breathing systems, farming in high altitude areas, dengue and chikungunya control technologies, multi-insect repellents, food poison detection kit which has been put to use in the field of nuclear, biological and chemical technologies. Large number of DRDO systems including reconnaissance vehicles, decimeters are in use, biodigester for human waste management, primarily developed for glaciers, has found its potential in civilian sectors and has become a significant part of Swachha Bharat movement. The Swachha Bharat is for the nation. Swachha Bharat is for everybody's body. Swachha Bharat is not a political program. It should become a national program. I'm happy it is becoming a national program because Swachha Bharat is a program of the nation. This Swachhata or even the yoga is for your body, not because of Modi. You have to understand this. Some people try to see politics in each and everything. Some people try to see religion also in each and everything. Nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with politics. This is a national mission and it should become people's mission. Why I am saying this is people's mission is because in our country over the years we developed a mentality and psychology. Everything will be done by the government. सब काम सरकार करेगा, हम बेकार बड़े तो चलेगा, ऐसा नहीं चलेगा. Everybody has to perform its responsibility. That's why in August 15th, the Prime Minister gave a call about no use of plastic, about planning the family, not family planning, planning the family. For drop crop, reduce, reuse, recycle water, because water is going to become a big issue. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, to have the proper ratio of men and women. Otherwise, what will happen, you all know, I need not explain. So many things. These all should, and also tree plantation, clean and green, all should become people's movement. Then only will become powerful. Then only will become healthy. Then only will become wealthy. Then only will become happy. Happiness, that is what is required now. My dear sisters and brothers, the government of India has embarked on a very important program, Make in India. He has given a call now, Make in India, Skill India, Digital India, Clean India. Prime Minister gave a program. I was also minister at the time. He gave a program. So I called it as MISI-DC. MISI-DC means MI, Make in India, DI. Every word there has a meaning. Digital India. SI, CI, Clean India. All this is aimed at really making everything in India. I'm happy, I've been now briefed that many of our requirements are being produced indigenously. I compliment you for the same, and I would like to see that others from world community, they should come here to procure, to purchase our defense equipments. That is the need of the hour. We should focus on this for the future. The Make in India program requires R&D institutes, academia and industry to work hand in hand and provide quality products and services. I am sure that DRDO will contribute its best to this program. Focus is to be made on futuristic technologies to become a world leader. From nurturing and working on denied technologies, we need to leapfrog in capability and lead in relevant high-tech areas, establishing focused research centers in the specific technologies at R&D centers and academic institutes with the state-of-the-art infrastructure is the first step in that direction. Innovation by small and medium-scale industries should be encouraged and supported. The country needs to have innovative manufacturing institutes with public and private partnership. Also, these technologies must be devised for exports to earn valuable foreign exchange for the country. Biosensors, photonics, NEMS, nano electromechanical systems, MEMS, micro electromechanical systems, high energy material, futuristic power supplies, stealth technologies, advanced materials and high power computing area are few such priority areas. To encourage and support research in advanced materials, the government is formulating a national material policy. This policy provides a blueprint on harnessing the strength of the knowledge capital in relevant areas of material science and make India one of the 21st century leaders in technology. There exists an immediate need to synergize the capability of all stakeholders to foster innovation that would result in the overall development of the nation. R&D institutes should focus more on basic and transitional research, and public sector units need to play a vital role as lead integrators for development and subsequent production. The private sector also needs to invest in R&D in specific areas.